Scared, huh?
Sequence touchdown.
Biden done. And you got what?
9 and 8. That's not crazy.
Swift on Pro Bowl this year. Lock it in.
Zone touchdown, Detroit Lions.
8 flowers for a third round pick.
No.
You're tripping.
The gut punches will stop.
Yo, welcome back to the Last Second Dose, where we doing the most, baby. It's your boy Rad out here in Rip City, Portland, Oregon. Repping them Detroit Lions, y'all already know. But let me get the guy, because we got a loaded show tonight, baby. Mixed Stats, Mr. Mustachio is back. I see you growing in nice and light. Keeping it right.
Man. That lighting. That's what it
Dose
is,
of
man.
Dorsey 2.0. What's happening?
What's going on, Red? What's going on, man? We got a loaded show, like you said today. We got a special guest. Who we're gonna get him in first. We're gonna get him in early. We'll let him get situated, and then we'll throw him in here. But man, I'm pumped. It looks like the chat is pumped too, Red. How you doing, man? We're back. We got 2 days until the draft. 2 days. Was that right? No, maybe it's 3 days. What is today? Today's Monday. 3 days. 2 days. 2.5 days.
Tuesday, Wednesday. 3 days.
3 days until the draft. Look at the chat, man. They're going crazy. Hey, we're trying something new here as well. Rad, let them know, man. We're also on we're on our channel, those D on 2.0, but we're also on Rad's channel, Last Second Sports. So
pumping tonight.
Yeah, if we do chat back with you, there will be 2 different chats, just so you know.
I see that. I see he said Debo that like button. You heard?
I like that. Where's he at? Oh yeah, it's weird. It's weird, but it's cool at the same time. I think the chat likes it. I kind of look like a coach. I think it's the glasses, man. But the glasses just make me feel good. You know, it's like, what are those things that you do? You know those things that you like wear when you're like sick in the car? Maybe they don't do anything, but it makes you think they do, so it works. It's one of those type of things.
I don't know.
I think this does do something though. All right. All right. Well, let's do it, man. We got a special guest in here. We got
I'm back.
The voice of the Detroit Lions for the second time. It's been a minute since he's been on the channel. But I'm happy to get him back. Hopefully this time I don't cut out, because last time I did cut out. I got Rad with me, as always. But, man, I'm excited for this special guest. On short notice as well, we got Dan Miller, man. Let's see if he's able to get this thing figured out. But if you can hear us, Dan, how you doing?
Nah, I can hear you. I can see myself. I can't see myself now.
I'm dealing with that also, Dan. Don't worry about it. I can't see myself. I'm just going.
It said check camera. I checked camera, and so I don't know why it's black.
You know what? It's all right. We'll treat it like a podcast, man.
No, it's not the glasses.
It's all right. It's all right, man. That works. That's fine with us, because that's what we're here for. The voice, man. That's what it's about. Hey, look, man. I appreciate you coming on. I know this was short notice, but the draft is soon, and I was like, I want to get someone like, someone up there on here, and I was like, Dan Miller is a guy I got to reach out to. So thank you for coming on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you guys having me, and appreciate what you guys do. So I'm just glad we're finally going to be able to talk about what has happened instead of what might happen, because it's been months and months and months of just speculation and who's at the top and then who had the picks where and where they may go. So look, I'm fired up to see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually a question I had for you. I don't know if I've asked you. I may have asked you this before, but like, what is this offseason for you like right now? I know you are in there with the press conferences, I believe, at least maybe some of them, asking questions. So what's that time for you right now when the season's not going on?
Well, I mean, I still got Fox 2, so I'm still busy doing that. But, we're like everybody else, just in the midst of getting ready for the draft. We got a draft special coming up on the TV side on Thursday night from 10:30 to 11. And then we got a draft special Monday night after the draft on 97.1 to talk about it. And then, during the draft, we got a lot going on between guys coming in and out of Allen Park that they draft. And, as I said, putting the thing together for Thursday night's our main focus right now. So there's a lot to keep us busy and a lot happening right now. So there's always something. That's the great thing about Detroit. And obviously with the Lions, we're kind of zeroed in on that. And this is a big week for them and everybody else in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, maybe it's just because I've gotten deeper into these drafts recently, but this year definitely feels like I have no clue what's going to happen. And not even just with the Lions, just in general. I mean, every day it seems like ideas are changing. What is going to happen? I'll just start with the burning question then right away before we get into it. What do you think ends up happening with the top pick in this draft? What do you think Jacksonville's going to do? I know it's a tough one, but I have to throw it at you.
I got no idea. I mean, look, normally when you start getting momentum in a situation like this and everybody starts looking at one guy and it feels like it's moving towards Trayvon Walker right now, I mean, I guess I kind of buy that. It feels like it's been moving in that direction a little bit here now for about a week and a half. You started hearing rumblings of it. So, look, I'm like you guys. I don't have any intel in Jacksonville, and I don't really think anybody else does right now either. But it seems like the people that kind of are tuned into this stuff feel like it's going to be Walker. And look, there's always a couple people that can whisper and the word gets around, and all of a sudden that kind of is what takes over the news cycle, and it feels like that's where we are right now. So it's a long way of saying I don't really know, but it feels like it's moving in the direction of Trayvon Walker.
Okay. Dan, how you doing? This is Rad Holmes with Last Second Sports. I got so Jacksonville takes Trayvon. Who do you think we're taking it to?
You know, I think it comes down to Thibodeau or Hutchinson. Now, that's not brain surgery to figure that out. But I will say this. There's a whole lot of people that like Jermaine Johnson as well. So, while I think that's the long shot, I mean, I just got done watching a Greg Cosell video, who I think is one of the best guys at breaking down film and prospects, and he said he believes he can be the best pass rusher in the entire draft. So, I think there's 4 defensive ends, rush ends that are in this, and it really comes down to how you value them. And that's obviously Walker, that's Thibodeau, that's Hutchinson, that's Johnson. I think for the Lions, reading the tea leaves, nothing more, probably comes down to Thibodeau or Hutchinson. My gut would be Hutchinson, but it would not shock me if it's Thibodeau. It really wouldn't. I just think, look, there was a reason that for the better part of this past college football season, Thibodeau was regarded as the top prospect. And then with that Ohio State game, Hutchinson really took off, but it doesn't change the things that made Thibodeau so highly respected and so really, successful for several years in the Pac-12. So it comes down to those 2 guys. Again, gut says Hutchinson, but I would be prepared for anything at that point with those with Walker off the board and the Lions sitting up there at number 2.
Okay. Who do you want at number 2? That's what I had a follow-up question. I want to know who do you want at number 2?
I'll be honest with you guys. I do not sit here and there's a whole lot of experts on Twitter these days, and there's a whole lot of people that'll tell you I'm really find it difficult to break down defensive end play. I would probably at this point go Hutchinson, but I do think there's a lot to like about Thibodeau, and his upside may in the end be bigger than some of these other guys, but it's a question of whether or not you can get that out of him. And that's not a comment on him. That's a comment on the difficulty of this league of getting there and then developing a game, which is what I think he's going to have to do. I think that, the one thing you read in a lot of these scouting reports is he's got to develop more of an array of moves. That comes down to, coaching and commitment and things like that. So there's nothing not to like physically at all about Thibodeau. It just feels at this point like Hutchinson might be a little bit further along. Question is, though, do you bank on where they could be down the line? Because I think that's what people are looking at with Walker is he's kind of ascended into this, is his ultimate potential down the line, and the feeling among some people that it might be higher than some of these other guys that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, yeah, and then I'm right with you. I think with the Hutchinson thing, because I mean, I've heard from scouts as well, and they're just like most of these pass rushers when they come out, they all need work. They all do. So yeah, it seems like it's like almost the answer to me of the question of things that we don't know. Even from what we could just see, like, do they believe that they'll get there? Do they believe that player is going to take those steps? It's a tough prediction, man.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I mean, you guys, you could go back and look at the draft for years and look at guys that were thought to be potential pass rushers coming into the league, and it didn't work out. And you go back and look at some of those drafts, you're like, man, I thought this guy was going to be, somebody who could get after the quarterback, and it just doesn't happen. It's a difficult thing to do. It's why these guys are playing a prime position that makes big bucks, is because it is a skill set that's hard to find in terms of consistently being able to get after a quarterback. And that's what we're talking about with all four of these guys, is their ability to do that, not in college, but at the pro level against the best players in the world every single week.
I have a loaded question for you, Rad. Unless you got something, I have a kind of a loaded one, but it's about the quarterback position, because I'm sure this is going to come up. But just kind of from your point of view, because I know from at least what I've been seeing, I think nationally the perspective changed a little bit when Matthew went to LA, especially once he won the Super Bowl. But even before, I think he played a snap there. You can just see that nationally the perspective seemed to change a little bit, maybe on who he was versus what he was in Detroit. Obviously, a lot of that probably has to do with maybe not winning a lot of games in Detroit. So when you look at our quarterback situation with the Jared Goff situation, if you're in that, like, how do you think that they should handle that situation? Do you think, it's one of those things where, because I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, so tell me if I'm wrong, but someone's told me that you're a Malik Willis guy, and I have no idea if that's true. But
I don't know where that came from. I would not be in the school that says draft him at number 2. That would not be me. I know there's a lot of people that are. I'm not. Again, let me go back to what I said to Rad a moment ago. I don't consider myself a scout. I'm looking at what I see, and I see what I look at. I don't see in this draft class guys that I would be jumping at in the top 5 in terms of quarterbacks. I don't know how many of these guys are even going to be franchise players. That's for people who are more in tune to this than me to lay their career on and their reputation on. I wouldn't draft one of these guys probably in the top 5 to be sure. Past that, again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. My belief at this point is you put as much talent around Jared Goff as you can and try to win with Jared Goff. And if that doesn't work out this year, then you have next year with 2 number 1 picks and probably a better crop of quarterbacks to try to put this thing together. But I just don't see somebody at this point that I'm going to give up a draft pick that I can use to fortify my roster and my depth chart that isn't going to help me for a little while to draft as a quarterback. I don't see it in this class. Jared Goff has won playoff games. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, I think, can win in this league. It is incumbent upon the Lions to put the guys around him. Now I'll say this. I think that offense is ready to go. Now, could they add another receiver? Sure. But when you look at that offensive line, the tight end, the depth chart that they have at receiver today, if those guys can stay healthy, and that running back room with Goff at quarterback playing the way he did at the end of last year, that offense, to me, there's no excuses for it. You should be out there and playing at a high level and scoring points. It's the defense on the other side that needs some help. Now, look, if they go with Jared this year and he doesn't deliver, then you got to make some hard decisions next offseason. Or maybe he makes the decisions easy for you. But I'm a believer that you can win with him. I think it's incumbent upon the Lions to put the right guys around him. And let me go back and apply that to what you said a minute ago, Deion. Matthew Stafford didn't do anything that I didn't think he was capable of doing when he was here. And the Lions, I think, would be the first to tell you they didn't put enough people around him to lift him up. Now, is he completely without some culpability in that? No, he's not. He could have played better at times, that's for certain. But fact is, outside of 2014, most of the time he was playing with a broken defense, and most of the time he played with no running game. They could have done a better job surrounding him. So, look, it's already been through the courts and decided. And it's funny, on my timeline the other day, it started popping up something about the Lions. No kidding, they didn't do enough to support him. It's just, look, we found that out when he went to the Rams. And that's just the way it goes. So what do? You learn from your mistakes. You go out and you put a better team out there, and you draft better, and you sign better free agents, and you do all things better that allow you to win.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, my dad always says it as it was kind of like, it almost felt like an experiment where it was like, okay, we got our answer. We understand the situation. We got to see that firsthand. Now, for what you do in last season, this is kind of like a personal question. What was maybe your favorite call last season, whether that was a game, a drive, a play. What was your favorite moment from last season in those regards?
I mean, I think it was the touchdown against Minnesota to win their first game. I mean,
Ooh,
there was so much
baby.
pressure on these guys. There was so much when you're not winning and it's snowballing like that. It's miserable, man. I mean, this is how they measure themselves professionally. This is what they do, to support their families, and they're amongst, even if they're not winning, these guys are in the top that much percent in the world and being pro football players, but you're not winning and it's not fun. And you're leaving your blood, sweat, and tears out there and you got nothing to show for it. And to see them be able to execute at the end of a game, make a game-winning play at the buzzer, and be able to finally exhale and celebrate in a year where a lot of things didn't go right, that certainly was probably the moment that sticks out to me. And fact is, you need more moments so that those don't stick out as much. But it was what it was. It is what it is. And that's probably, in a nutshell, the first play that comes to mind.
I gotcha. I want to swing it back over to the draft really quick. So going into the draft, what do you think are our top 3 pressing needs going into this year's draft?
They got to get better at getting after the passer, which is why we're talking about these guys at the top of the draft. I mean, it makes everything on your defense better. You have to make the quarterback uncomfortable. You have to make him throw it before he wants to. You have to make him throw it before his receivers are ready to get it. That's how you get turnovers. It's the pressure that they need to generate up front that they weren't able to do last year. Now, look, I think they got some guys that are going to help coming back. I think getting Romeo Okwara back obviously helps. He was their best pass rusher going into last year. I think Julian Okwara is a guy that they have to hope is truly ascending. I think he can be a better player.
Correct.
Can Charles Harris do it in back-to-back years? He hadn't done it before, but he sure did it last year. Can he continue to do it again? These guys, Onwuzurike's got to take a step up this year. So there's guys that are already here that have to get better, and I think you're going to get some help from the outside, which is what they have to do as well. So I think that's certainly something there. Look, I think we know if they can find a prime receiver, a potential number 1 guy, that's something that they would look at as well. But that being said, I think given health, their receiving core for day one right now is in pretty decent shape with Amon-Ra, DJ Chark, and Reynolds, and getting, Quintez Cephas back. I think they're in decent shape there. They can be better. And then defensively, look, I think they'll look at a safety. I think they'd look at a linebacker. I think they'd be open to a cornerback. I think they're wide open on defense to just, once you get past that first pick, probably let their board, and I hesitated there because I have seen people say, well, what about Stingley or what about Gardner? But once they get past that first pick, kind of let their board dictate where they go defensively, because they can really, stand to bolster the roster in all those different spots on the back end of that defense and in the middle.
So, okay, you said receiver. When would you take a receiver in this year's draft? Now, obviously not the second pick.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Well, let me say a couple things. Number one, I think something to keep an eye on is having 32 and 34. Is there somebody that maybe falls into the teens that they say, you know what, we want to take some of these assets we have and move back up into the first round and try to, I don't know if you trade both of those or you trade one of them and something else from this year's draft or next year's draft. But I think having those 2 picks there, last one in the first round, second one in the second round, gives them some opportunity to maybe move up. So if they are in love with one of those receivers in the mid-teens and they think there's going to be a run, he's not making it to 32, maybe that's something they look at. But I think, let's just say they stand pat. I think 32 and 34, you're looking receiver, you're looking safety, you're looking to see if one of those linebackers fell. Those are the positions that kind of stick out to me. There's a corner you love there. Maybe that's something that you look at because you got some uncertainty with injury at that position. But I still feel like it's receiver. Assuming you go defensive end early, it's receiver, and then those positions on defense, probably outside of the defensive line with 32 and 34 if they stay there.
Okay. Who's your favorite receiver in the draft?
I think it depends on where you're talking about. I mean,
my bad, Dose. I know I got it.
No, go ahead, man. I like the question.
I mean, look, if you're talking about the teens and Jameson Williams is sitting there, that's a guy that you look at if you wanted to move back up and get him. either of the guys from Ohio State, if you wanted to move up and try to get them. If you're talking about picking where you are, then all of a sudden you're talking about a Dotson or you're talking about a Christian Watson. Those are the guys that seem to be slotted into those positions, picking somebody along there that you. So I think it really depends on where you're talking about taking a receiver as to which one you like, because some of the guys you may like, if you're waiting until 32 or 34, they're going to be gone.
Right.
There's also some talent that could be sitting there at that position as well.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's interesting. I think me and Rad are both could see definitely 32 being a moving spot, whether that's up or down. If a team moved up for a quarterback to get that option, or moving, like you said, up to possibly get that player, especially if you're talking receiver with the Chiefs and Packers now sitting right in front of you, who probably are going to take a receiver high. This is this is back to the season kind of, but I know like a lot of times we talk about it, and just kind of your impression. What was kind of your impression from Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes' first season? I know we talk about it, maybe it feels different, things like that. How did you feel about their first season?
Look, ultimately, and here's the bottom line, they have to win. So whatever I tell you in the next couple moments doesn't matter. You have to win. But you also have to get there by doing things the right way. And I think that there was a different feeling in Allen Park, much different last year than there had been under Matt Patricia. I think there was much more of a buy-in. I think there was much more of a desire to run through a wall for the head coach, if I can use a cliche. I think he won this locker room over. And I think that he earned the respect of these players that want to play for him, want to be a part of this thing. And there was a cohesiveness that wasn't here before. There was a development of young players that I don't think we saw here before. That has to continue. That's probably, to me, the most important thing this coaching staff brings is an ability to teach. And when you see what a Jerry Jacobs or an A.J. Parker did in the way that they played, or some of the injuries they suffered along the offensive line and guys they put in there and the way those guys played, the development of Amon-Ra St. Brown and how quickly he came along and just blew up, in particular in the second half of the season. Look, if you can't coach and develop in this league, you can't win. It's that simple. Because guys don't come into this league ready to play in the NFL. They have to be taught how to play in the NFL and what it is to be a pro football player and the finer points of doing that. And the best teams in the league have developmental systems that allow them to continue to churn players through. And maybe somebody comes along that's a free agent, you can't afford to sign them. You got somebody coming up through the pipeline that's ready to go. It's drafting and developing. So I saw a different attitude out there. I saw better teaching and development out there. They just have to keep that going, because that's ultimately the way that they'll turn this thing around and win. It's not about going out and signing flashy free agents. I do believe they'll do that at some point. But it's about getting your players and developing them into, ultimately a team that can win. And that to me was the biggest thing that jumped out at me last year, was the way this coaching staff worked, the way these guys bought into that staff, and the way you saw, and you can look up and down the roster at guys that ultimately improved for this team.
Right. I agree.
I love that. I have one more, and again, this is back to kind of like last season, but maybe not even last season, just in general. Do you have a preference on like certain games? Like, do you like calling primetime games more? Is it the Thanksgiving game? Like, what game? And then a follow up to that, what's the like go-to meal afterwards? Because this is something that we got to know. Like what are you doing afterwards? You hit McDonald's, White Castle? I know White Castle. The chat loves White Castle. So
yeah,
how does that look?
Usually on a Sunday, I'm coming back to the office afterwards, so I stop at Jets and bring pizza back, and me and the guys eat pizza afterwards because I come back to work. But if you're on the road and staying over, the go-to food after the game is beer. But if you're not going back to work afterwards. But look, I think anytime you're calling a game and you're going in and it's a primetime game and you're the only game, that's special. It's just different, and it's different for a reason, because it's not just Sunday at 1:00 with 6 other games, or Sunday at 4:00 with 4 other games. It's the only game going on. And it means more to the players. They know everybody's watching. And when you're broadcasting the game, you feel that electricity. So I do think there's something to those primetime games that just make you feel it. It's different. Success is better, failure hurts more, and it's just part of what those bright light late night games are.
Absolutely. No, thank you for the answer. That was a good answer, right? You got something?
He picks up a pie and heads back to the office. I like it. Hey, I just want to go back to the draft. Because I mean it's draft week, baby. I want to know your thoughts.
I like it.
So, who's your favorite player in the draft? Because I mean I got a favorite player. Who's your favorite player in this year's draft?
That's a tough one. Because you think about the guys at the top, and look, I love what I saw Hutchinson do at Michigan. And as I said earlier, I don't profess to be a scout or anything like that, but I love what he did. I love his attitude. I love the way that he lifts his teammates. He's everything I think you want in a locker room. And to be fair, I certainly am more exposed to him than I am Walker, or I am Thibodeau, or I am Jermaine Johnson. I tell you what, Jermaine Johnson's another guy. Just throw in the tape. Just look at what he did last year at Florida State, and betting on himself and going in there for a year and playing the way that he did. He's a really exciting player that I think is got a chance to be really, really special. I think probably the other guy, and just having seen a couple of games and then watched the buildup, is Sauce Gardner. I think he's a heck of a competitor and a player, and that kind of cornerback that's going to always stick his nose in there and make plays. So I think those are some guys that would jump out at me. And I'll be honest with you, when I was at the Senior Bowl, I was just watching practice, and one player just kept jumping off the field at me. I'm like, who is this guy?
I want to know.
It was Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, the first day, he did nothing but make plays. Every time he looked up, he was running by somebody. And he was just so fluid and so fast, and he backed it up with his 40 time. He'd be right up there with my favorite guys in this draft. And I even tweeted that day. I said, not a scout, just telling you one thing. This guy has just popped off the field, and he did throughout that week. And I think that was part of kind of his ascension into, second round territory, and maybe even late first round. He wouldn't shock some people if he went, but he's probably, needs some seasoning coming from a smaller program. But I'm going to tell you, he is just one of those guys you look at and you figure he's probably great at everything. Probably great at baseball, basketball, football. It's just a money athlete.
Just athlete, huh?
Tall, strong, smooth. Just really a joy to watch him play. So he'd be right up there with my favorite guys.
Hey, me and Rad are on the exact same page. I love that because you said Jermaine, and I'm like, I want Jermaine at too.
Right.
And then you say Sauce Gardner. Rad's been pushing for Sauce Gardner.
I like Sauce.
So
he named a lot
that's
of
awesome.
I like players. You know me. I like Devontae Wyatt and Jalen Petrie also. But
look, I mean, guys, you can run up and down this board, and there's a reason to like a lot of these guys. And there's 32 of them that'll go in the first round, and teams are going to feel good about walking out of there with them. So. It's the question isn't today, the question is tomorrow, and the question is next year and the year after that, and how these guys develop. And it's what Brad Holmes talked about the other day, football character. What's their dedication to it? What's their willingness to really grind it out and give up everything it takes that you have to give up to become great? Because you can coach somebody all you want. If somebody doesn't want to be coached and somebody doesn't do the things that you have to do once you receive that coaching, the repetitive ability to just keep grinding it out and getting better, then it's not going to do a whole lot of good. So there's some things in this draft that are hard to measure. There's some things in this draft that are every draft that are, going to work out positively or negatively for some of these guys. And that's, I think, what you have to is the great unknown quantity is how they handle money, success, adversity, all the things that you're going to have to deal with when you get into this league.
I had an NFC North question because this is something that we've talked about a little bit until the draft started to get closer. But when we look at the NFC North, just kind of your thoughts on it, because I know we see the Packers and Rodgers is coming back, which has been a thing for the last few years. But to see them, trade away Devontae, and to see where the Vikings are with their new head coach, and to see the Bears in the year two now, we've talked about this a few times. It almost feels like the Lions maybe have started what they started at a really good time, because it seems like the NFC North is starting to see some turnover at this point. I don't like where the Packers are going, but I'm very biased against that. So what are your thoughts with just the other teams around in the NFC North, specifically a team like the Packers?
Yeah, I think, look, I'm probably of the school that says as long as 12 is taking the snaps there, they're the favorites in the division till somebody proves otherwise, because they've been running this thing for how long? Yeah. And I think
a decade.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? They deserve that kind of respect. But I think that, to your point, I think it's a good time, but I also think any time's a good time, because this league is built for turnarounds. This league is built for an ability to turn your roster around and start winning if you do things the right way, and you approach it the right way, and draft the right guys and develop the right guys. So I do think the division has probably come down a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to see what Green Bay does in this draft, because obviously they're not the same team that they were at the end of last season. So they've got some work they need to do on that roster, but it feels more wide open than it has. But that being said, doesn't mean anything unless you earn it. Doesn't mean anything unless you take advantage of it. And that's what I think they ultimately have to do.
Right. I think we're on the up and up. The North, I think we got a good shot at winning the North. As long as we come out here and draft the right pieces, and the pieces we have continue to develop, I feel like we could take a run at the North this year. We're already playoff bound. We're making the playoffs.
Playoff bound. That's true.
There's no reason they are not significantly better just sitting here today, and they're not even through this draft yet. Again, like I said, I think that offense is ready to go. Given health, that's always kind of the thing you don't know about. Defensively, look, I want to see it. They got to get better. They were, improving on some things towards the end of last year, but they need to now do it from week one. And the places they need to improve are clear cut, namely the pass rush. And we anticipate they're going to get some help in this draft, but you also don't want to put all your, hopes on a rookie to come in and be the difference maker. It's some of the guys I talked about before. Romeo coming back, Julian taking a step up, Charles continuing to do what he did, Onzarike, guys being better. If it's whoever, Brockers, Aleem McNeil, whoever it is, middle of the line, pressing, the middle, taking away the ability for a quarterback to step up. Whoever it is, just have to be better.
Gotcha. So, we were just talking defense. I got to know your take on this, because me and Dose, we have a bet, a wager for 25 push-ups. Gerard Davis. How do you feel he's going? I want to know.
I want to know how they're going to use him.
Is he going to make the roster?
You know what? I don't know. I think let's see how many linebackers are on that roster after this draft. Look, Jared, good dude, man. Love him. Love his attitude. He had some shortcomings when he was here. Some of that was the position that they put him in. He clearly has struggled in coverage throughout his career. That's not some place that you want him to try to make his money. But maybe they put him in some place where he's just playing downhill and getting after the quarterback and trying to make some plays in the backfield, and they take away some of those other responsibilities where it seemed like he struggled. So to answer your question, I think I want to see the depth chart before I, put a percentage on how hard or easy it'll be for him to make the team. I do think he's going to have to earn it. I don't think it's anything that's going to be given to him, but I also know that he's the kind of guy that's going to give you every single thing he's got, because that's the way he's always been. And I want to see what Aaron Glenn does with him. What's his plan for him? How is he going to use him? Because you may see a different guy if they use him differently than we saw before. Not guaranteeing that, but I think that's the thing you have to look out for. I don't think they signed him without an understanding of what the plan was on how to utilize him. So we'll see how it works out.
I agree. He needs to be more downhill getting after the quarterback. I think that's his strengths. Him reading, reacting, not so much, but you tell him to go see ball, get ball. He's pretty good at that.
Yeah, I want to see how that looks. And I think that might be the plan that they have for him based on, the shortcomings that we've seen from him in the past. But again, kind of going back to what I said about Aiden, and guys can have this at different levels. Man, kind of attitudes you just love He just has the kind of attitude you just wish everybody in your locker room had. He cares, he gets after it, and he gives you everything he's got.
Dan, I got one more for you because the chat keeps asking, so I gotta bring it up. Kind of just your thoughts on Jeff Okudah. I mean, I know he's coming off another injury, and some people are saying safety. Just your thoughts on that whole situation.
No, I'll be honest with you, and nobody can tell you. I have no idea. One, he's coming off a major injury in Achilles. Two, we haven't seen it yet. So, look, I was really looking forward to seeing him get a year under Aubrey Pleasant because I think Aubrey is a superstar in the making when it comes to coaches. He's going to be a head coach one day, defensive coordinator at some point. He's going to work his way up the ranks. I mean, I just think if you watch him work, he's a special coach, and guys got better with him as their position coach. Unfortunately, Jeff didn't get the chance to do that. I don't know. I can't predict where this is going. I know it's not over. He's got an opportunity to come out there. I know they're hoping he'll be ready to go at some point during camp, so I'm hopeful that's the case. I'd love to see him get one more crack to get out there and to show what he's got. There's reasons that he was drafted where he was. Whether he was overdrafted or not at this point doesn't matter. It's what can you do from here on out. Nobody's ever denied that he's got a tremendous amount of talent. We just need to see that on the field. So I'm disappointed that it didn't happen last year. One of those things that you couldn't control. But there's not many guys in the league that come to mind that I would rather see him get a crack at with than his position coach that he has here in Detroit. And I think his defensive coordinator and Aaron Glenn's pretty good too. So, if I'm hopeful about a couple things with Jeff, it's the talent that he has and the guys that he's going to have leading the way. Now he just needs to be healthy to give it the best shot that he can. But anybody that tells you they have a definitive answer on him with all those variables, don't believe him because it's impossible to know at this point.
I got another. So DeAndre Swift, I like the guy. Everybody knows I like McSwifto. What are your thoughts on Swift? And do you think we should address running back in the draft? Because Swift hasn't made it through a whole season this year.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if at some point they draft a running back. That wouldn't shock me at all. Look, I think DeAndre has the makings of a difference maker in this league, a guy that can take one play and change a game. But you got to be available. And that's been his biggest downfall to this point is just injuries and not being able to be out there. When he's out there, there's no concerns. I mean, he's a playmaker. He get a ball in space. And, think about what you can do with this offense, with this line and TJ Hawkinson and the receivers that they've got and the way they'd be able to spread teams out. And, at some point, you're not going to be able to account for all these guys. And that's a guy that you better not fail to account for because he's going to make you pay. So love the talent, love the explosiveness, but anybody just needs to look at his track record and say he's got to find a way to stay healthy. And that's not him wanting to. Things just happen. Injuries happen. Sometimes it's luck. And he just needs probably a little bit of luck to stay healthy this coming season. I don't think he's out of shape or anything like that. I think he shows up ready to roll, but it just hasn't broken his way in terms of injuries. But, man, when he's out there, he's the kind of guy that you want to have on offense because he can change a game in the snap of a finger.
I would agree. Availability is what his issue is right now. It definitely is. I would love to attack running back anywhere in the back end of the third or later.
He's forgetting about Jamar Jefferson. That's what it is. And Craig Reynolds, Craig Reynolds.
I mean, I get we have a nice, we have a good stable.
In it. Yep, I think all those guys are in it. And Jamal is a really talented guy as well.
Yes,
but I do think that teams, when they see a running back they like, they tend to take him because these guys over the years have become, more. Disposable is a really horrible word, but they have become more replaceable, more interchangeable as time has gone on. So I guess my point would be if the board dictates running back at some point, I certainly don't think it's off the table at all. I think it's something that they would absolutely look at. But Dion, you're right. I mean, there's guys behind DeAndre and Jamal that, have shown that they can play a little bit as well. And, Jamar showed some pop last year, and even Godwin a little bit. So,
Yeah.
I want to see how these guys play and it develops, but wouldn't shock me if at some point in this draft we saw them take one.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Dan, that's all I got for you. I don't know if Red has anything else. I just feel like this offseason has gone so fast up to this point. I don't know what it is.
I
It
love
just
it,
feels like it's
though.
gotten here so quickly. I know. I
was
do
somebody
too.
the
Love
other
it.
day,
Let's
and
keep it
talking with somebody
moving.
the other day, and I said, man, I was putting some stuff in a book and flipped a couple of pages and realized, man, we're going to be locked in there soon. So, yeah, it has definitely flown by. But I appreciate you guys having me. I wish I knew what happened with this camera. When I was in the waiting room, I was all locked up on camera, but this thing went black. So you guys
No
are used to
worries.
hearing me on the radio anyway, so this was just radio.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds great, by the way. Whatever mic you got,
did.
sounds really good, man.
Sounds really good.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate what you do and keeping the fans engaged and all that stuff. So thank you for having me, and we'll look forward to maybe catching up after the draft.
Absolutely,
All
man.
right,
We'd love
man.
to have you on again. Thank you for coming, Dan.
All right, fellas.
Appreciate
Be
everything
good.
you do.
Have a good
Yes, sir.
night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, man. That was Dan
That
Miller.
was
Clap for Dan Miller, voice of the Lions. Did his thing. He killed it, man. He killed it. He answered all, whatever this was. He answered all my questions, man. I was like, okay, I got all mine done. Brad, I thought it was good, man.
I mean, I was just
Enjoyed it.
spitballing off the dome. He
Yeah,
was dropping great knowledge.
good stuff.
I feel like
Totally.
we think alike a lot, though. Like
Hey,
me and him are on the same page about a lot of things with this offense. If we put the offense out right now, I
Yeah.
think we're solid. We need to improve defense, and more defense. I think, me and him was talking on the phone, obviously, just sharing our thoughts. I think it is because
for sure. Yeah.
We were
Well, I
on
mean,
the
he
same
did say
page.
wide receiver kind of high. You see how he's sneaking that in there? Christian
did.
Watson. Okay.
he fell in love with Christian Watson about
Yeah.
32, 34.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not on that train. No,
Even
no,
Steven said maybe trade up. I mean, if you got that dude sitting there, right?
no.
Playmakers,
Receiver.
man.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you.
Go ahead.
Except,
I was
wait a
going
minute.
to go through the donos. We got two donos.
Go ahead. Because I was gonna say, I'd probably rather have like Kenneth Walker instead of getting a receiver that high, or Brees Hall, running back.
That high? Oh, you're just saying in general, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in general. Go
No,
ahead.
that's fair. That's fair.
We're gonna accept this $2 and please take Jimmy G. No.
They're
We're
giving
good.
us money and Jimmy G, Red. That's
We're okay. We'll give you a
No.
Fago pop for Jimmy G. That's it.
I like Bud Joe's response though. That's good stuff. Thank you. We
I
appreciate it.
raised you 5 and you keep Jimmy G. Straight up.
Yo.
We don't need that clown.
Oh my goodness.
Don't.
man. That's awesome. Hey, we appreciate the chat, man. I didn't want to cut him off because he was rolling, so I was just trying to
He
put the
was.
questions in there and read the chat. But we do appreciate it. Now, hey, Rad, you want to get to
Talk
a few
to
little rumors that I have saved over here
Yeah.
and discuss
Is
whether
this
it's fact or
fact?
cap?
or cat. They're all cat.
I don't know, man. It could be fact. We'll see on draft. One of them's got to be fact. They can't all be cap. So one of them's
They're
got to
all
come
cap.
true. All right. Well, let's see. So, chat, we need you for this one. We're going to do an F for fact, C for cap, which means fake. We're going to go through some rumors, and we're going to decide whether or not we think they're true, man. This is just a fun little game, man. Fact or
Fake.
whacked. We can do fact or whack. Do a C or a W, whichever one feels right. Let's do that. I'm down for either one. All right. Oh,
Spitball.
well, I had pictures of them so I could throw them up while we were talking. Here we go. Let's do this. All right, first one we got. These are in no order. They may be a little bit difficult to see, but I'll try to read it out loud. Okay, they're already saying cap. You guys are cheating, but it's okay. Sources tell Tony Pauline, I think that guy works with Pro Football Network, it's unlikely Nakobe Dean ends up in the first round, but it's looking like he'll be off the board early day 2. Rad, you think that's fact?
I think it's fact.
He doesn't
I'ma
go
tell you
day
why.
1. Okay.
I don't think because he didn't run. Games. If you watch his game film, he looks like he's a 4.5 or faster. But you still got to run, bro. Like you're a linebacker. We got to see your 40 time. It's not like you're Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson. Mike Vick even ran his 40. It's not like you're Lamar Jackson or somebody where you just can't run your 40. No, we need to see your 40. You're already a smaller linebacker, not undersized really this day and age of linebackers, but we need to see your speed. And then I'm gonna throw out there you have a first round defensive line in front of you. So that's going to make anybody playing linebacker jobs easier. If you got a good D line, your job's going to be easy as a linebacker. You're going to hit your holes a lot cleaner. Offensive linemen aren't going to be up on you and things like that. So I think he is going to be an early day 2, and I hope he falls to 34 right there to our Lions, because I would love to have Nakobe Dean. We have a solid D line. You just got to put him at that weak side, keep him clean, and he's proven that he can make tackles, blitz, sideline to sideline, and his coverage is nice. So I think it's fact because he did not run that 40, and it's going to hurt him. Which is now I hope it falls right there in our favor, because I would love in the chat fact.
This is very back and forth. Now I'm seeing a lot of facts. Now there's a ton. I think you persuaded the chat a little bit, Rad. You're seeing a lot.
I mean, it makes sense. He played clean all last year, because you got big Jordan Davis who's taking up 2 bodies. Devontae Wyatt is so disruptive where he's just blowing up everything, and then Trayvon Walker. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I mean he's projected to be a first round player. Yeah. So 3 out of your 4 D linemen are first rounders. Like, yeah, you're gonna be clean as linebacker. And I'm not taking nothing away from the kid. I think his film is beautiful. He's good, and I hope he's a Lion. That's the linebacker I hope we get. Right there at 34.
I like it.
If not Christian Harris. My bad.
I'm on Christian Harris too, man. Look. Come on, man. I read that comment. I felt sad. I've completely forgot to ask Dan Miller to give us words of wisdom. That's so unfortunate. I wish I would have. Oh, man, he would have had something fired, too. He was rolling. Now I just want to get him back on for that. But you know what? We'll get it. I'm sorry. Chat, you should have said something, man. I guess we kind of just ended abruptly. Factor cap. This is going to be an interesting one. I think a lot of it will depend on does Devin Lloyd go round 1. But I'll say fact. I think it. Shoot. Some mocks say he won't. Some they will. I'll say fact as well. I think he'd go to day 2. But here's the thing. I'm telling you this. If he is there at 32 or 34, he will be a Lions draft pick. And I feel very comfortable about that. And we even had the question that was asked to Brad Holmes when they said, hey, do you look at, like, okay, he's on a really good team. And he said, let's use Georgia, for example. He says you have to look at the player individually. We know that he was the only guy that had a visit with the Lions was Nakobe Dean. So I'm just, he's the only team he had a visit with. So I'm going to say fact. I'm going to say it because I think the linebacker position, it will fall a little bit. And I think just by, where teams – I mean, I think last year D-line and O-line went way earlier than I thought. Like, specifically, D-line started flying off the board. So we got ours early, and then we were able to come back and get a guy like Derek Barnes. So I'll say fact as well. But I think he's a borderline round 1 talent from what I've seen. Right, we got another one, man. Some of these aren't exactly Lions-related.
That's fine. Let's see.
This one says the Jets have been shopping the pick and have had multiple talks with other teams regarding the 10th overall pick. That includes the Eagles, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Packers, and the Steelers have all shown interest in trading up. What? Right, okay. You think that's fact or whack, right?
I say it's fact. I mean, you just listed off 6 different teams. Like, yeah, that could be fact.
Okay, that's probably fact. That's probably fact.
So many picks within the first round, and then the Cowboys. It just came up. What did I just read? The Cowboys are looking to trade up to get. Who was it? I can't. I'm sorry. I just read this too, like an hour ago. My bad. But I think that's fact. I mean, yeah, you list 6 teams that are behind you. Like, yeah, somebody's definitely going to try to move up. So that's a fact.
Wow. So I'm assuming just by looking at those names, I don't know about Philly. But Saints may be in wide receiver play.
Who Cowboys?
Chiefs, Packers.
They might not even have the 10th because I heard the 10th might be going to San Francisco for Debo.
It might be. There's a lot of facts. Whack or cap. You know what? Do either one, whichever one feels right. If whack feels good, do whack. I don't know why you put an H in there. Is that how you spell whack? Maybe that's how you spell whack. Do whatever you want to do, man. Either one works. All right, here's the next one. Now, this one that was sent to me, I think this was Cameron that sent this to me. Shout out to him. He said, it says this.
He said, let's see.
Touch Ojabo. Oh, jeez.
I'm not against getting Ojabo in the 2nd or 3rd for sure.
I'm actually not against Ojabo either. I'm watching him today. I'm like, okay, there's something there, man. As long as he comes back healthy, there's something there, man. Now this one says, expect a surprise. I heard out of Jacksonville recently. So this is Peter King, who came out with his list today. He has Trayvon Walker going number 1, as you can see, about each team. But something pertains, so the Detroit Lions, the top pick is most... Okay, I can't read it. Basically, he's saying the Jaguars are going to take Trayvon Walker. That's what Peter King thinks. All right, so is that fact or cap, Chad? This is the big one.
I hope it's fact, because I don't want Trayvon Walker be sitting there at 2, and we even have the chance to take the kid. I don't want him. He's too raw to be like the number 2 pick. Number 2 pick, we gotta have somebody that's coming in ready to play, ready to make an impact right now.
Cap.
Trayvon Walker's a solid player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just think at that number 2 pick or even 1 pick, it's not worth it. I said this a couple shows ago. Like he's kind of reminds me like a Ziggy Ansah. Ziggy Ansah was very raw. He had good measurable speed, strength, things like that. Ziggy did pan out for us, but I believe we took Ziggy with the 6th or 7th pick. It wasn't the number 1 or number 2 pick. So I hope it's facts. And I think we all should say a little prayer night before the draft that Trayvon Walker is the number 1 pick, because then at that point, that just leaves it wide open. We going to land Hutch, JJ, Sauce, Icky.
Yeah.
Devontae.
Yeah, Jermaine.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. You're just saying random names. It's all good, though. It's all good. You see how much you like Jermaine Johnson? You put that in there twice. He said, just put it on the film, man. Just throw on the film. I was like, oh, Steph, okay, Dan. He's breaking it down.
He's not.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Or even Zach's trade down. I'm all about trading down, too, man. Get a little bit more draft picks.
Now, here's my thing, though. If Hutchinson is there at 2, the value for 2, if you still want to trade down, is going to be going up big time. I think that's what's even if we don't want to take Hutch, the value is going to fly up. So even if Hutch was there and we got like a ransom to move back because you should, and then we scooped up Jermaine, I'm super excited still. So otherwise, I'd be surprised if they didn't take Hutch. Aside from that scenario, all right, Ray, we got another one. Bam. Again, Tony. We shot to Tony. It's rumored that Oh, okay. I guess this isn't the exact same, but it sort of is. It says that GM Trent. You read that? Okay, their GM, basically the Jaguars GM, wants Trayvon Walker, but their owner Shad Khan wants Aiden Hutchinson. Now I'm gonna start there first off. Shad Khan probably should not have a say in this. I'm just being honest. Why in the world would you like that? Can't be good business. You know what I'm saying? Just from how I see it, there's no reason your owner has any say in this if you believe in the guys that you actually hired.
Jerry Jones, dude.
Yeah, Jerry Jones be doing that.
Jerry Jones, dude. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like you hired this guy for a reason, so let him do his job.
Yeah.
Just you just stay up in the press box and do your thizzle. But look, I want all this to keep coming out. Take Trayvon Walker, bro. And that's I guess let's go fact to answer the fact.
You think this is fact? It feels like it's just kind of something thrown out there, but it's adding fuel to the fire that we've been seeing for the last week, as Dan said.
Look. Just take him off the board, please. I don't even think we're taking him. Even if he's on the board, I think Brad Holmes is smart enough. Like, hey, we don't really need a project player at 2. We need to win some games now. So we're taking somebody who's somewhat polished. Yeah. Aiden Hutchinson is polished. JJ is polished. Sauce, polished.
Yeah.
Devontae, Wyatt, polished. Jordan Davis, polished. Or take Big
Christian
Icky.
Watson, polished.
Take Big Icky at offensive lineman.
David Bell, polished.
That's what, man. We need to trade back. We do, bro. We do.
I love it. Here's another one.
I want to get Big Icky too. Like, bro, I want that O-line to just be stupid.
Now, this isn't fact or cap, but to just add to what we're saying, we saw the odds change today. Now, I do want to point this out because I know some people have been saying, why have the odds changed? Maybe it's just, I've heard from FanDuel specifically that they said that their odds changed because recently bets have been getting placed heavily on Trayvon Walker being the 1 pick, and they've started to raise it because the people that are putting those big bets are people that usually beat the book. So, again, if you're believing that, hey, Vegas knows something, they might know something here because those people that were betting for Trayvon Walker all of a sudden has changed the spread. That's why it looks like it does. So now all of a sudden Trayvon Walker's the favorite to go number 1. That is crazy how this has changed. I don't know. Maybe it's always been that way. Do you think there's a scenario where it's just always been that way and they've always wanted Trayvon and now we're just getting closer to the draft, those things are leaking?
I mean, could be the case. Yeah, it could be the case for sure. They professionals. They scouts. They've been watching this kid for a while. You know what I mean? Now, they probably didn't know he's about to come out and run a 4.5 at that big. That's true. They probably did because they talking to the coach's staff and they telling you the kid's fast. So they probably knew he was going to run well. Yeah, to your point, they probably been known the whole time. The whole dang time. I got a question for the chat. Chat, would y'all be upset if we took Icky with the 2nd pick? Big Icky with the 2nd pick. Yes or no? Y or N? would y'all be upset if we took Icky with the number 2 pick? Now, our O-line would just be dogs for years to come now if we added Big Icky. Think about Icky and Sewell on the same side, what we could get done. Those screens, pulling, just pushing people off the ball in general. If we had Big Icky and Sewell on the same side. Can I get a wire in?
You got a
if
lot
y'all
of
would be
yeses.
upset?
Mm.
Yes.
They're saying
Nope,
yes, they'd
I'll
be
see it now.
upset.
Yes, they'd be upset. Yes, they'd be upset. No, you wouldn't. We got one now. I just want to know where everybody was at. So, yes, they would be upset. Okay.
Hey, shout out
No,
to Charles.
Charles.
Shout out to Charles, man. I just realized that's a guy from Twitter. I just put that two together.
He was in the space with us earlier. Hey, y'all need to start tapping in on Twitter now. We starting these spaces with the Lions. We ain't there just shooting the ish, you know what I'm saying? Talking football. We probably gonna pop one off again tomorrow night. You're
I heard if that's what. All right, next.
Shout out
here
to
we
Charles
go.
again. I thought that was Charles, bro. I thought it was. I'm like, man, that's buddy from the Twitter space. We talked earlier today for about an hour.
We talked about Ekwonu, so perfect timing. There was a lot of talk this morning about Jaguars and Ike Ekwonu. Word is out there that he may be in play number 1 overall. So this just goes against everything we just said about Trayvon Walker. But I don't
He's
know,
nasty,
man.
though. Icky's nasty. He got some Quentin Nelson in him. Look, so, okay, bro, like, no, okay, so let's put it this way. Let's say Icky pans out into be another Quentin Nelson. Chat,
For sure.
would y'all take Quentin Nelson at the 2nd pick overall if you knew you were about to get Quentin Nelson to add him to our offensive line? Everybody in here would say yes, they would add Quentin Nelson. 100%.
You know what? You're exactly right.
Quentin Nelson. And you don't know football if Quentin Nelson ain't probably the doggest guard in the NFL.
He's a dog. I be watching his NFL film stuff.
Bro,
they
he's
put on
nasty.
YouTube. He's just a nasty guy. But you're right, man. Like, yo, Icky's size, and I know the pass protection is a little questionable, but we're putting him at guard. It's a weird fit now, but just this rumor alone, Rad. I mean, you just said you think it's fact that they're going Trayvon, so this one has to be Cap then? That Icky could be the one?
Yeah, that's Cap.
All right, Chad, what do we think? Is this Cap? Is this whack?
They said they don't know enough about. Look, go to the Indianapolis Colts. He came out of University of Notre Dame. Quentin Nelson is the best guard in the NFL.
That was the problem. Wasn't he pick 6?
Yeah, he was somewhere in that front end of that top 10 for sure.
The difference was you knew he was a guard. But if you're talking about Icky, the thing is, yeah, he'll pancake some people. That's the thing. Icky has the most big-time blocks in college football last year, 18, which is more than Penei Sewell when he came out. But me and Rad, I showed him just a few clips, and I was like, dude, he reminds me of
I fell in
Sewell.
love.
Yeah. And
I
he
wouldn't
reminds me
watch,
of Sewell, man.
He's nice, bro. He's dirty. He's nasty.
He is. And that's the trait you want in an offensive lineman, man. Like the other things, you just need that dude that's just mean like that in the trenches, just like Hutchinson. That's why people like Hutchinson. It's draft week, which means it's a lying week, but there's a lot of chatter this morning about Ike Ekwonu. Okay, so that's just like another post. This one's from Matt Miller saying basically the same thing, that there's buzz that it could be Ekwonu with the 1 pick. I would go that direction if I'm the Jags. If the Jags are looking to take a lineman like that and say, hey, he might play guard this year, I could see why Ekwonu makes sense. If I want the best tackle that's like ready right now, I'm probably taking Evan Neal, but
Right.
I could see being a play like if I were them, if I was a fan, and I would think I'd want to go offensive lineman here. I mean, I don't know enough about the team to say that for sure.
But you got to protect the franchise,
Trevor
which
Lawrence,
is
yeah.
Sunshine Trevor Lawrence.
Especially after last year. Like, nah, the one thing I want to do is protect this guy.
I protect Sunshine.
What do they say? They say he's the best quarterback. Most people say it. I'm not saying I say it, but most people say he's the best quarterback since Andrew Luck that came out. So you're not going to protect that guy? You want another Andrew Luck? I mean, that'd be my focus, man. Protect that guy, especially this
Trevor
year.
Lawrence over Goffle any day of the week.
All right, we'll keep moving. Yeah, Doug.
I knew you were going to bypass that comment.
We're just staying in the same area here.
Everybody in the chat would take Trevor Lawrence over Goffle.
Based on what? Based on last year?
Chat.
Okay, we'll keep going. Yeah,
exactly.
Doug, don't take you bad.
Put a T
I'm just saying.
for Trevor,
What do we
and
see
put a
last
G
year?
for Goffle.
Brad, why you so quick to get him out of here, man? Just like
I'm
Dan
not,
said, let's
bro.
build around him. Let's see what he can do.
I'm all about trying to get a
But
guy.
I didn't even give you the question. You just like took it upon yourself to say that I would take him over golf.
Look,
Like, it was
T.
just-
I see T. T. Oh, there's some G's. There's a couple.
What's
G's.
the T
Okay.
for? What's the T mean? I don't know what the
Trevor
T means.
Lawrence.
Oh.
Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goffle. And I,
I think
haven't given up on Goffle.
I think that's for Thomas. Jared Thomas Goff. I think that's what that's for.
Oh, Thomas is I thought his middle name was Bartholomew.
No, I thought it was Bartholomew. Dude, I saw, shout out to Jay for Let's Talk Lions. I saw his vlog thing, and they asked this dude a question. They said, what's Jared Goff's middle name? And immediately I was like, oh, Bartholomew.
I got everybody thinking his middle name's
I'm
Bartholomew.
like, JBG, that's the guy. He said Thomas. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not close. All right. Oh, my gosh. Royal Kush. Shout out to everybody that's donating, man. We do appreciate it. Supporting the channel, man. We're going to do our best to bring you best content when it hits the draft. We'll be live on this channel and Rad's channel, Last Second Sports, for the draft. I didn't even read the thing. He said draft week. Let's go, Lions.
Let's go.
All right, here we go.
No profanity.
I like that. Keep it. Yeah. This
PG-13.
is PG-11. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because I don't.
I ain't never heard PG-11.
Hey,
Michael
this is
Banks in the building.
Shout out to Michael Banks. He has been saying that they would go O-lineman 1. Now, here's what's interesting, though. This is where things get interesting. Chad, I need you guys engaged here because it says, wouldn't be surprised if multiple teams trade back into the first round for a quarterback. Now, we have a follow-up to this. I don't know if I have it saved. Basically saying that Seattle might be one of the teams interested. This goes right to what we thought of maybe. Pick 32 is that spot because we're talking about trading up. Dan Miller's talking about trading up for a receiver, but it could also be the spot where you trade back because the team wants that fifth-year option. And if the quarterbacks go like it could, I mean, there was the thought that there's a chance that a quarterback doesn't go till pick 20, to Pittsburgh because they just see the value and they're like, let's just go get the best player available. So they'll wait. Now all of a sudden you got Malik sitting there, you got Pickett sitting there, and mock drafts seem to start representing this. Matt Corral sitting there.
Perfect for us.
We're sitting at 32. We're not taking one anyways. We move back a few spots, get tons of picks because everybody's like, we need that fifth-year option because it's a quarterback. It's super valuable. Brad Holmes has already planted the seed that that's going to be the case because he even said the quarterback's the position that you look at for that. And now we're seeing rumors like this. And I'm sitting here smiling because I 100% believe that we would be a team that's right up there first in line to do something like this.
That'd be perfect.
Believe that.
That's fact to me. I think our pick is going to be very valuable at 32. Especially if only like one quarterback has came off the board.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be game time right there. And you know, I'm already talking how I want them second round picks, second and third. So I know a lot of buzz been talking about like Seattle's gonna move up and things like that. Perfect. I hope Seattle does come move up because then at that point I want to pick 40, 41, and a next year's second.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going for the throat. You got to give me everything.
For sure.
You can come get your quarterback of the future. So I'm hoping Willis ain't even off the board. Because I know people would love to get Willis at 32 to get that fifth-year option. That's a dream scenario for us. If Willis ain't even off the board at 32,
someone will move up. Someone will move up.
100%.
Yeah, Pittsburgh passes on him, someone's jumping up. Because once you get past Pittsburgh, I think it's like, oh, maybe no one's going to take one. So that's when it resets, and you're like, oh, snap, teams want to get that option. Because I think at that point it becomes that battle of, well, there's multiple teams, like he says, that want to trade up. Now they're pushing each other up, like, oh, we need to give more picks. We need to give more picks. So the longer these quarterbacks last, the better shot we're laying in some picks to move back. And I think they'd love to do that at that spot. If they don't care about the fifth-year option to get more picks, it's just way more valuable. Shout out to Big Baby Zubas. Says, can't wait. Go to all defense picks this year. One tackle. Come on, Big Baby Zubas. Just one tackle. I'm going to keep pushing that. But I do
How
like
many picks we got? 8. We got 8.
8 right now. We'll end with double digits.
I want 5 defensive players, 3 offense.
That's fair. At least 5. At least.
Yeah, at least 5 minimum.
At least. Oh, shout out to Royal Kush. Hard Knocks this year. I'd love to see it.
It's the hard not life for us. That's it.
That's it? You don't know?
I mean, I could have kept it going. I just didn't want to get copyrighted.
No, it's all right. You can keep going. I'll take the copyright.
Static kisses.
Okay, can you stop? I don't want to get copyrighted.
Okay.
Okay, we got one more I got to say note here. This one is within the past week, as the draft has drawn closer, multiple teams in the top half of the draft have inquired with others to try and trade back in the first round. Per sources so far, the interest in moving back in Thursday's draft has greatly exceeded the interest in moving up. I definitely think this is the case. I 100% think this is probably true. I mean, it just seems like it's true, right? I'm just going to say it's fact. I'll just throw it out there.
Oh, Lord. My laptop's about to die.
You good? You all right?
Sorry. Fact. Fact.
Hey, we got Evan Brown back, man. We got Evan Brown.
It popped up on my screen. Oh my Lord, that was crazy.
Oh my goodness, Red, you all right? Oh, it's time. Red, all right, man. All
I don't know
right.
what my charger is. It just popped up on my screen and I read it out loud. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, all right. Well,
You have 10 minutes. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Okay,
Thanks
well,
for
we
you
better-
gave me a time limit.
yeah,
Let
we
me
better
turn the
make
screen
sure
brightness down.
we better make sure we get words of wisdom in at least before it dies
I'm gonna
out.
turn the screen brightness down. Maybe that'll help.
Here you go.
Jeez.
Right, it's a little bit like
Okay.
like Little John.
We got any more?
You agree with this?
I look nothing like Little John.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. Do you
No.
think safety Elliott will emerge as a starter?
Tell me, I don't look nothing like Little John.
Feel free to throw some questions in the chat, man. Let's get some questions from the chat in here. You guys are coming out and showing out. I'll throw this one.
I
to
think he
Red.
could emerge as a starter, Elliott, for sure. I mean, he started for Baltimore. It's just injuries; he has to be available. I think
Yeah.
that was a great signing by us. We've had a couple good key signings. Chart, him. I like the Mike Hughes signing. I still forgot the guy we signed from New Orleans, the tight end.
Tight end Garrett Griffin.
Oh yeah, Peter Griffin's
That
cousin.
stud. Yeah, stud. Putting in work.
Stop.
He.
I'm excited.
He
I don't
is.
want to get negative about that signing, but you know what it is. What it is.
Snag Brisker or Scene? Rad? Scene or Brisker? I got Brisker.
Scene.
There you go. Me and Red are split.
Throw some more at that. I like that.
Thoughts
Who or
on
who?
Tony? Okay, who or who? Yeah, do some who or who's if you got some.
Do some who or who's in the draft. Who and who, and which one? Pick one. Do some
To
pick
answer,
one.
yeah, do that. Hey, to answer Zach's question though, I do think Tony's going to end up staying there. I don't know for sure, but I know he showed up today, and now all of a sudden I'm hearing Darius Slayton's being shopped. So it sounds like he's going to stay. If he wasn't, I'd be interested in him. I want to make sure his character checks out. That way he's not doing crazy stuff with us too. But yeah, I do like Tony. He was one of my favorite players when he came out.
Harrison Muma. Ooh,
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good
Ken,
one.
that's, well, I don't know where it's at. That is a good one. I'm panicking.
That's a good one.
I'm
I like
in the
that.
process of moving. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
see, I'm not in my, I'm in the process of moving and things like that. So I really don't know. But hold on. Okay, I got 12% battery life. We're doing good.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I seen a good one
I
over
got-
there.
Okay. Let me get the Bows first. Cause shout out to Bo. I've talked to Bo a few times. I want to see if you got any teams that stick out to you that could move up. I can't think of any, man, that would really want to move
There's
up
no
to 2.
quarterbacks out there that somebody want to take it to. So I don't know.
Only move would be for a pass rusher. If a guy like Hutchinson was sitting there, maybe I could see it happening. Or
That's about
Kayvon,
it.
maybe. Yeah, that's the only way I could see that. Muma or Twiddle? I don't know
I
who
seen
Twiddle
Mumar
is.
Harris.
I'm be-
Somebody had Mumar
Okay,
Harris.
Harris or Muma? Ah! Why they do us like that, Red?
I'm going Harris.
Shout out to the chat.
That's a good one. I'm
Who's the
going
better
Harris.
linebacker? It's Muma. Who's better
I'm
for
going
us?
Harris.
Probably Christian Harris. Christian Watson or George Pickens? Watson.
Pickens.
Yo, the Pickens videos though, Red. I saw this cut up. I don't know if you saw it. We're like,
Pickens.
he was like fighting this dude. Yo, I don't know. I'm taking
going
Watson
Pickens.
though. Okay, we split
I'm
on
going
all of them
Pickens.
so far. Best
Any more?
linebacker not named Dean or Lloyd.
Harris.
I'm gonna say Muma. Channing Tindall or Coy Walker.
Oh.
I'm taking Tindall,
I'm
but
taking Tyndall.
yeah, Coy Walker could be a cool project for somebody.
I'm gonna take Tyndall.
David Bell or John
Mechie.
Mechie? Bell. Come on, Red. Charles, come on, Charles.
I like these. Keep them flying.
I know
I'm
why
going
you. I
Mechie.
know why he asked that question. Tony's correct. It's definitely questionable. No, it is. I like this. I like the. There you go, Chris. I see you. Steelers for a quarterback. Are Steelers interested in a quarterback?
100%.
Who they got? They got a. I know they got Mason Rudolph. They have anybody else? I don't think so.
No, they do have somebody else.
Do they?
Who's other? Did the Steelers bring in? I know they got.
I'm gonna say yes because I can't think of who it is. If I can't think of who it is, I'm
Quarterback.
assuming it's not very good.
Yeah, they got to be interested in a quarterback.
Yeah. I think they probably will take quarterback. Maybe at 20, depending. It could be. I would say if I had a bet right now, it's either Malik because he feels like that kind of guy. If he's there, if he's not there, I would say Ritter. Adam, did I ask Adam? about Brad Holmes. I did ask him about Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell a little bit. He kind of broke in. I think you're talking about Dan. He did kind of go into a little bit of what he felt about the culture. So check that out.
Trubisky. They got Mitchell Trubisky. I knew they brought him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they may wait a little bit. No, I think they'd still take one if they felt like it was there. I still think quarterback is probably going to happen. I don't know though, but like getting Trubisky, I don't know.
Somebody said Haskins died. What?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Dwayne Haskins did die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was
Rest
terrible,
in peace,
man.
Dwayne Haskins. You said, Rad, how you feeling about our fat daddies up front? D-line, I think we still need to bring in a couple. O-line, I think we need to add one.
I'm still going Garrett Wilson, man. Go ahead. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm taking Olave.
Dude, hey, Olave's a route runner though, bro. I didn't realize he was nasty like that until I started watching him today. That dude gets open. He's a route runner. He's like Devontae Smith. That's what he's like.
I want him. I want Olave. I don't want a receiver in those first 3 picks, but if they end up taking one, I hope it's either him or Drake London. Olave or Drake London.
But if they're both sitting there, you're taking Olave over Wilson?
Yes.
Okay. Cena Brisker. Yeah, I had Brisker. Red's got Cena on that one. I don't know. To me, the better question would be Cross or Cena. That would be the better question. Ritter or Pickett, but not for Detroit. Ooh. I take Ritter. Pickett's too conservative. He doesn't like to throw anticipation throws. He holds into the football. I don't like it. Red, how you feeling about it? Oh, he already asked you that. Got it. They think Kayvon. Chat, let's get a quick poll here. So who do you think the Lions are taking? Just do the first letter of their name. First and last name. Just do their initials. Put their initials of who you think the Lions take Thursday. You think the Fords will pay Kelvin? I think they tried to, but then there was like some kind of work thing. I think at some point that'll be cleaned up because I know they've been doing stuff with him, like off the field. So at some point I think that will be cleaned up.
There's another
Watson or Logan Hall at 34. That's actually tough. That's tough. Dang.
Watson. Logan Hall.
Woo! That's not bad. I'll be happy with either. They get their own one. You said Logan Hall?
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked
I might have to go
Jabo or Angabar.
Dang, now you really put me on the spot with that one.
What about this one? Aiden or Jermaine Johnson?
Gosh.
I'm taking Jermaine Johnson.
I'll take Hutch right now. Jermaine's not far behind.
I'm taking JJ.
I watched Hutch against was it Michigan State, and I was like, okay, still on Hutch train. That's close though, man. Here's a good one. Sky Moore, David Bell.
Sky Moore. What about Ojabo or Ingenbar?
Where's that at?
Bo Griffin. You got to scroll up just a teeny bit.
Oh, here we go. Oh, definitely Ojabo. I don't like. I can't even pronounce his name. I don't like him that much. I have him like outside my top 10. Ignagbar, yeah. I don't like him.
I don't know. I just good. Daxton or Scene.
Justin Ross or Daxton or Scene? Daxton, man. Come on, Rad. You're the Daxton guy, Rad.
Scene. Justin Ross or Calvin Austin. I'm gonna say Justin Ross.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
He brings some length, height.
6'4", man. Scott Nelson or Verone McKinley?
Verone reminds me of
I'd probably take
Diggs.
Nelson. Quandre Diggs.
Mm-hmm. Olave or London.
Zach Thomas or Muma? Zach Thomas.
Miami Dolphins. Old linebacker. That's what I think of when he says Zach Thomas.
Wait. Zach Thomas. Oh, he's probably talking about Cameron Thomas.
Oh. I mean, I see Zach Thomas. I'm thinking linebacker from the Dolphins.
Oh, Brad, tough one.
Kayvon.
Trayvon. Don't play. Don't play.
Sauce or Stingley?
Yeah.
Sauce. Pickett or Malik?
I might take Malik. Nah, I'll take Pickett.
I'm going to go Malik.
This is good. People are sleeping on Cephas. Brad ain't sleeping on Cephas. That's
I'm
his
not
guy.
sleeping on Cephas. Cephas is one of my favorite receivers on the roster.
Brandon Smith or Channing Tindall?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Man, I think I go Tindall.
What's name has a higher ceiling though, I feel like Smith, so I might take. I gotta go Tendo. I've been on Channing Tendo since the start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there.
Don't let the rumors get to you, man. Which
Sauce
wide
or
receiver? Oh, my bad. Sauce or
Which one?
Stingley? Sauce, because the injuries, man.
Which wide receiver do you think the Eagles take that turns out to be worse than the next 4 receivers take?
Probably Chris Olave.
Whoa, chill out. Chill out.
Jahan Dodson.
You do not like John Dodson.
I just can't think of a name. I don't know. It's that high. I don't know.
Oh, those. I'm running low.
Oh, there's a
yeah,
lot of
I'm
KTs
running.
in here.
I'm running low, those.
You good look?
5%.
All right, two more. No, let's go 5 more. 5 more. Kohler or Bellinger? I'm thinking Kohler from what I've seen, but I don't want to sleep on Bellinger because I haven't seen enough.
I haven't seen enough for neither one.
Devontae Wyatt or Travis Jones? Wyatt.
Devontae Wyatt. He's my favorite player in the draft.
Yeah, I think the fit's better for Wyatt. Matt Corral or Willis? Oh gosh, I don't want either of them.
Willis.
Dang, wouldn't that be a choice? Here, you can either pick Matt Corral or Willis at 2. Oh my goodness, I'd probably cry.
Karloftis
Right.
or oh god, it popped up again. I got 4%.
I can't go.
It says
bro.
Karloftis or Wyatt. I'm taking Wyatt.
I take Karloftis.
I'm going Wyatt.
Tyquan Thornton or Bo Melton? Whew, that's tough.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, man, I don't know. That's a tough. I'll go Bo Melton for now. I'll go Bo Melton. Braxton
Ojabo.
Jones or Zach Tom? Zach Tom.
Zach Tom. Ojabo or Mafe?
He has the same question. Shout out to Owen, man. What if the Lions could get Hutch and Karloftis? Would you? Yes, I would do it for sure. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't care how many players we got. Now, yeah, are they both power guys? Yeah, I'm okay with
I'd
that.
rather have Hutch and Wyatt, but
Rad's like a you like a roller coaster, man.
I am. Wyatt's been
All of a
I
sudden,
don't know, he's
Devontae
just
Wyatt is your dude, man. Where did that come from?
Oh, Chris Mason has a good one.
Okay. Brad Holmes or Brad Holmes? I'll take Brad Holmes.
Oh my guy,
Yeah.
my guy, Rad Holmes.
Now, unless he went to the Super Bowl, then I'm going Brad Holmes. But, you know.
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine, yes. Jermaine, man. Oh, wait. I don't know who the other person is. Armani? I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
That must be from the same show. I don't know. I want to answer that question. Justin Fields or Willis? Willis.
Justin Fields.
Will the Lions ever win the Super Bowl? If they am, I'm going to cry. Yes. They have to at some point. Ritter or Howell?
Where's
Howell. I don't know. That's tight. I guess I'll go Howell.
Oh god, it's getting critical.
All right, man. Let's wrap this thing up.
2%.
Rad's going to die. His
We
screen's
milked
gonna
it.
Die.
We milked it. Pepsi or Coke? Pepsi.
Pepsi, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Smoke on air, Jared coughs. Isaiah Likely, not Jelani Woods. Likely. We're going to... Yeah, send a mocks in. We're going to end the stream here, man. Shout out to Dan Miller. Held it down for the first half hour, 40 minutes. If you guys want to go back, rewatch it, definitely do it because he killed it. Answer some good questions. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate the donos, man. The chat seemed to love both, having both YouTube channels. They said this was sweet. So, and the turnout was awesome. So, appreciate everybody here. I am working on my wide receiver. Oh, wait, we just got a thing. Hey, we just got some news. Oh, Barry Sanders and Keegan Michael Key will announce the Lions' second-round pick.
Oh.
So there you go. I don't know who the Michael Key guy is, but
It's going down. We having a draft party. Tap in. Last Second Sports. Dose of Dion. We collabing once again. Both channels. You don't know who Key and Peele is?
oh, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
We appreciate y'all tapping in. I don't know what his deal is. Words of wisdom. Not yet. No, wait. Start following us on Twitter if you're not following us. Our Twitter handles are right there above our pictures. No, above Twitter. Twitter handles.
Rad's is over there. Mine's over there. We've been doing some spaces.
We've been going in spaces. Come join us in the space and let's just talk some sports or talk anything. This is pretty much like we just sitting up on the phone, chit chatting, rapping. You dig?
Yep.
But everybody stay blessed. Y'all have a good night. Drink water. Make sure you kick that like and subscribe to both channels. Go Lions.
Head to
I ain't got nothing else to say.
dosevdn.com. Head to dosevdn.com for your draft reports. And like I said, rankings video will be coming soon. So
I wish my hand could go over there, but it can't.
there you go. Stay tuned for those.
All right, y'all. Be
Red.
easy. Oh Lord,
Hit us
how many
with it.
percentage I got?
Hit us
I already
with it,
gave
Red.
words of wisdom. I got 1%.
What was the words of wisdom? Drink water?
I just said drink water and stay positive. Have a good night. Be blessed. I gotta go.
All right, let me try to find the outro.
I gotta go.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.